Hello, Cancer. Welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the energies and predictions for the sign of Cancer for the week of December 8th. Now, do keep in mind that this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and feel free to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. All right, Cancer, let's go ahead and get into this reading here for you, where we will be taking a look at this brand new week of December 8th. Now, I am going to be doing something a little bit different in this video. I am bringing back a spread that I used to use all the time on the channel, which I call the pyramid spread. So we will pull 5 cards here. We'll talk about the cards, then we'll move up the pyramid. Let me know what you think about this spread. If it is well received, I will consider bringing it back on the channel in the future. Now, in terms of the astrology, I definitely like what's happening here in this week. We have Neptune going direct. We've got Mercury moving signs, which Mercury moves signs all of the time. You know, Mercury is now direct, thankfully. So yeah, December, from my perspective, is looking pretty good. And the readings for this week have been really, really good. So yeah, let's go ahead and put this up here. And okay. Also go ahead and take 1, 2, 3 of these oracle cards, which we'll talk about later. But cool. All right, let's go ahead and get into this reading here for you. So taking an overview here for you, Cancer, it seems like you've definitely I have a feeling here that some of you have completely started over on something. I have a feeling that you have, in the past, you felt like you've needed to balance something out. I think that you've made some, changes here, either financially in terms of your career, in the past. And I feel like this was sort of like a cleansing or a clearing moment, like a mental clearing type of deal, is something that's coming into my mind. Like you've almost taken inventory, you've cleaned up house, so to speak. You've done some housekeeping or house cleaning, so to speak, in the past. I think probably connected to money or career, and kind of like where you're going here in the future looks really exciting. So let's fully dive into this reading. In the middle here, you have the Moon card. All right, so the Moon, it represents some fears. You know, the Moon can represent fears and anxieties in the tarot. Taking a look here, maybe last week, you know, we had the full moon in Gemini. I do like to associate the Moon card with, you know, the cycles of the moon, even though actually the High Priestess is associated with the moon. But yeah, maybe something like on the 4th, give or take, like 5 days before, 5 days after type deal, which would actually apply to now. But yeah, maybe something happened there that there may have been an event or something that happened there. But on a different level, the moon, it represents fears. It represents, outside of fears, it can represent something in your life that's hidden, right? Something that's hidden, something that you can't literally see. And for this reason, maybe the moon, it can represent like this idea of the fear of the unknown. And I think that this is going to actually be pretty strong for you. This idea of like fear of the unknown is going to be pretty strong for you in this reading and maybe in this week ahead. And we'll try to get some guidance around that as we go along. Let me expand on that further, because in the past here, you have the 6 of Pentacles and the Fool. So 6 of Pentacles and the Fool here in the past. And the Fool, let's just pick up there. The Fool, it represents the fear of the unknown, or trusting in the universe. It can represent stepping into the unknown as well. Really, the Fool fights through the fear of the unknown because they're about to take a leap of faith forward, knowing they're going somewhere, but not exactly knowing where they're going yet. That's the idea of the Fool card, right? And for that reason, the Fool is a very, very powerful card in the tarot. It's ground zero. It starts off everything, right? It's like the chain reaction. It starts off everything in the tarot. And one way to look at it, if you want to look at the major arcana this way, is you kind of track the Fool's journey through the major arcana. The Fool ultimately gets to the World, the final card. But with that said, I think that there was like a really like a pretty profound new beginning here in the past, and I think that this new beginning, it was one of those deals where you didn't exactly have all of the answers. You kind of just felt like it was right for you to step into this, and you went for it. And along with that, you have this idea of the Six of Pentacles. So for me, this could be connected to like financial balancing, which is exactly why I was kind of saying that some of you may have done some housekeeping or house cleaning in the past here with this Six of Pentacles card showing up. All right, this is an energy of financial balance, but also it can indicate like inflow, outflow, right? It can indicate money coming in, money going out, these sorts of things. In this image, the person here on the card is giving, right? So that's outflow. But there's a kind of a sort of like karma that comes along with the Six of Pentacles. The idea is that as you give, you receive, right? So taking a look here, I think that you may have even had a pretty profound moment around your money situation, actually. And I think that you've kind of like initiated maybe some changes there that look to be very good, but you also don't have all of the answers right now. Okay, you don't have all of the answers right now. And, the other thing that I'll say here is with this Six of Pentacles, it can indicate like generosity. It can indicate generosity as well in the tarot. So we're going to see if that has any sort of clarification as we go along here. But in the future, you have the Knight of Wands and the Hanged Man. So Knight of Wands, Hanged Man here showing up in the future. And the Hanged, let's just start with the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, it can represent the idea that some of you are in this wait and see period, okay? Some of you are in this wait and see period, but actually, I think what makes more sense here is if you flip the Hanged Man around, you'll notice that the Hanged Man views the world in an alternative way. Okay. Sometimes the way that I like to look at the Hanged Man is one of the pieces of guidance or advice is that like maybe you want to flip the situation on its head. Okay. Maybe you want to kind of view the situation from a different angle or from a different lens. And I don't necessarily see here hesitancy, okay, or wait and see, especially because the influence of the Knight of Wands is there, right? And the Knight of Wands is kind of like a go-getter, you could say. The Knight of Wands is charging ahead. Burning forward, you could say. I say burning because of the flame on the wand here. And, this person is kind of like an adventurer. I always like to say the Knight of Wands is like the card of living an epic life, like a van life, right? Or like being a nomad or whatever the case may be, right? That's the idea of the Knight of Wands. This is somebody who maybe even lives in an alternative way, right? Alternative living could also be showing up with the Knight of Wands. On a different level, the Knight of Wands is also a card that I see come forward so many times and people are ready to move, like quite literally physically relocate. So you know what? Let's go ahead and let's clarify this even more. You have the Queen of Wands. You have the Queen of Wands here. King of Cups. Page of Pentacles. So many court cards. And the Knight of Swords. Wow, all of them are court cards. Huh. Very interesting. Queen of Wands, King of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. Chances of that are pretty slim, right? As you go through the deck, there are less court cards than other cards, right? There are just 4 court cards in every suit. So, yeah, imagine that. All right, so what does this mean? Well, definitely people are involved in your situation right now, okay? You get this many court cards in a reading, because that's now 5, 4 here, and then the Knight in the first 5. You get this many court cards in a reading, it means that, like, either people are in your ear, telling you, like, giving you advice or telling you something or, guiding you in some way, or just people are involved pretty heavily in your situation, okay? Now, each one of these court cards have different meanings as well, right? So, for example, queens and kings can refer to aspects of yourself. Pages can be about messengers or offers or opportunities, and knights can be about events as well. So as I think about this here, the Queen of Wands in the past with the King of Cups, you have kind of like created a new level, or you've stepped into a new level of confidence, okay, especially with that Queen of Wands. I think that you've been quite busy here working on this new path in life, okay? And it's hard for me to say exactly what this is about. It doesn't seem like it's romantic. As I think about the Pentacles, the Wands here, and yeah, the Pentacles and the Wands, these are more money, career, finance, business suits in the tarot, and that is there are more of those suits. There are more Wands and Pentacle suits than others. So uh, I would say that this is what you're kind of like initiating around this time. Now, the King of Cups is very interesting because it's kind of like opposite, right? Fire and water type deal. And King of Cups is somebody who is really like leads from the heart space, okay? Leads from the heart space. And they're also sitting in water, as you notice. They're sitting in the ocean. And the idea here is that, you know what? You may have encountered some like emotional turmoil or difficulty, but you were able to stay calm in the face of that adversity or difficulty here, okay? And so that's what I like for you. Now, with the Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, I do think that you've opened up a path for opportunity to arrive, right? If you think of it as like a container, your container was previously closed. The lid is now off and the container is now open. And you can now, that container can now be filled with opportunities and offers and messages and other people that can arrive in your life. And that's kind of what I see has happened here. As you've taken this leap of faith, as you've stepped forward here, Cancer, your container is now open. Okay, and you have the opportunity to fill it with the things that you want to fill it with. Okay, that's what I see here as I look at this Page of Pentacles and the Knight of Swords, and it all is sort of born out of this first step that you've taken with the Fool and the Six of Pentacles, kind of like having a personal realization around something, probably money, probably career, and then actually moving on it. Now, there are still some unknowns for you, right? There are still some question marks here, right? There's definitely still some question marks with the Moon and the Hanged Man, but remember, you've got this like foundational, how do you say, attributes, you have this foundational characteristic, whatever you want to call it, that is going to help you through this situation here, okay, as I look at these cards. Page of Pentacles is pretty good. It could be a offer for like new business contracts, or an offer to study, as this is the academic. Obviously, any offer connected to money, lending, right, can come forward with the Page of Pentacles, like maybe when you're signing off on something as well can come forward. Knight of Swords says you really are a go-getter. These are the cards here. Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands. Those are really like go-getter cards in the tarot as well. So I'm liking this for you. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the Oracle cards. Now, Cancer, I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you are enjoying this video, please do consider hitting the like button and subscribing. It really does help the channel grow. All right, so taking a look at these cards here, you have Ask Your Angels, Take Action, and Meditation Brings Answers. Okay, so a couple things here, actually. These cards really make sense. So you see the horse, right, on the Take Action card, and then you see the horse featured in the Knights, right? Knight of Wands, Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords is a big card of action in the tarot, even more so than the Knight of Wands. Both can indicate action. But the Knight of Swords in particular is this idea of striking while the iron is hot, okay? I think the iron's hot right now. I really do for you, okay? As you have this Page of Pentacles next to it, it's probably connected to money, career, business areas, maybe learning as well, but I think the iron's hot right now for you. So what's interesting is it is also being met with this idea of the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man is not somebody who takes action currently, right? They're not currently taking action. They're more so in this stage, which is Ask Your Angels and Meditation Brings Answers. You could say that the Hanged Man is meditating, or they're calling on spiritual support here, Ask Your Angels, right? So, if you do feel lost right now, just remember you can always ask. You can always ask your spirit team. That's the way I like to call it. That's what I refer to. Your spirit guides, also spirit guides, spirit team. Those are kind of like my ways of viewing. I don't know what you call it. Spiritual insight. I don't know. Having a hard time calling giving it a definition, but you get the idea, right? Calling on something higher than you. So you can always ask, right? You always absolutely can ask. So let's go ahead and let's move up the pyramid here. Let's get some more details. You have the Three of Wands, you have the Ten of Pentacles, and you have the Emperor. Wow. So Cancer. If you feel like you're not on the right path, the cards here would suggest that you are absolutely going to look back at this moment and be pretty proud of some step or action that you've taken here. Absolutely. Okay. This is an incredible 3-card clarification that came in. So you've recognized that there was an opportunity for growth and expansion here in the past with the Three of Wands, and you have acted on it because what the Three of Wands, or you're currently acting on it, because the Three of Wands realizes great potential with the Two of Wands, right? The Two of Wands comes before the Three. Two of Wands indicates great potential and that there are paths in front of them. The Three of Wands acts on it, right? They pick their path and now they're ready to grow and expand into it. That's the way I view it, right? So what you have here is the recognition that you can grow and expand into something. And I think that you've also acted on it, especially as this Three of Wands is kind of falling in a column here with the Fool, right? And you do have this Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is obviously like a card everybody likes to see. You know, this is like, for me, this can be around, trying to come to the right terms here, but it can be around like generational wealth, right? It can be about money that's passed down. Shared assets is what I'm looking for. Shared assets, shared resources comes forward with the Ten of Pentacles. Building a legacy, leaving a legacy, like building an empire, especially as you have the Emperor next to the Ten of Pentacles. So what you're doing now, it really is in alignment with some higher or grander vision for yourself here, okay? And usually this is a pretty nice sign of abundance, the Ten of Pentacles in the tarot, especially as we're not seeing like a ton of swords. Sometimes swords can indicate loss, cutting, severing, sometimes, right? Not the Knight of Swords, though. The Knight of Swords is more so action-oriented, right? This idea of striking while the iron is hot. And what I will tell you is the iron is hot right now for you, Cancer. Absolutely. The Emperor is a leader in business. The Emperor is big boss energy, as I like to say. This is somebody who's really good at laying out plans, setting forth on those plans, and it's an indicator of success in the tarot as well. So there's definitely an authoritative energy here that you have about yourself at this time, Cancer. I'm getting a vibe that some of you are entrepreneurs, or if that's not the right word for you, you're self-employed. Like maybe you own a piece of your career in a certain way. If you are not an entrepreneur, if you're not a self-starter, that's also okay because it's not for everyone. And if you find comfort in like a 9-to-5 job, or you find success, I should say, in a 9-to-5 job, I absolutely like what's happening there. You could be moving into some direction where you're in a leadership position here, okay, with the Emperor, with the King. And I see you sort of like gradually moving into that, as I see a gradual shift between these court cards, right? We've got the Page, we've got the Queen, we've got the King. We've got the Page, the Queen, the Knight, the King, right? They're in different suits, but I see that this is kind of like a gradual progression for you. So let's see what else you have. You have the Four of Wands. You have the Four of Pentacles. Wow. All right, so we started this reading off here, some of you feeling like lost, right? Just slightly, like not totally, because these cards are really positive. Specifically, what I said to start this reading is that there's this fear of the unknown. Like you don't have all the answers right now with the Fool and the Moon, right? You don't have all the answers right now. But what I love about where you are, if this is your reading, is that you haven't allowed that to be something that holds you back at all. You've absolutely totally gone for it if this is your reading. It's an incredible set of cards here. And the reason I'm bringing that up is you now have double fours here. So if you're concerned about stability, right, this reading, these cards would suggest that stability is available to you, or it's on the way, as you have double fours. 4 is a number of stability, right? Think about this Four of Pentacles person. money is literally surrounding them, right? Both feet, there are pentacles below both feet, there are pentacle above their head, they're holding onto a pentacle. This can indicate financial stability, right? It's not big money like the 10 of Pentacles, but you have that card as well, right? But it is stability, right? It's consistency. And the Four of Wands is also the same energy. There's actually a house in the background as well there. But the Four of Wands, it does talk about ceremonies, marriage. It's a card of marriage, but celebration as well. The people on the card just got married. So everything that goes along with that. I'm going to get to the top of the pyramid, but first let's take a look at what is on the bottom here. You do have the Seven of Pentacles. Wow, there's like a huge money scenario here that you are really heavily involved with, or that's really on your mind at this time, and it's long range. It's a long range, long term, okay? This is like your retirement here. This person's crops, you could view them as like retirement, right? They spent a long time growing these crops, and they're thinking about kind of like what's next. So Seven of Pentacles comes in, it's usually around real estate, around retirement, around something long-term, or just like if you own a business or you're in a career for a while, like how does that look? What does the end game look like for you there? At the top of the pyramid, you have the Eight of Swords. Okay. So, Eight of Swords here. This may say that you're restricted. You're maybe trapped in fear in a little bit here. That's going to change for you. Okay, that's going to change for you because right now with the Moon, the Eight of Swords, and the Fool, again, there's this like feeling of needing to get out of your own head or needing to get out of your own way. Okay, to be real with you, to be totally blunt and honest, the Eight of Swords person is in their head. Okay, they're in their head. They're in a sword imprisonment. The swords represent thoughts. So. This is, and I forgot about the Hanged Man as well, right? So the biggest piece of guidance here for you is that you've taken strong action, and to continue taking that action, I think is going to end up propelling you in a really, really good direction, okay? And if you feel lost, remember, this idea of like ask your angels, spirit guides, God, spirit team, whatever you kind of put meaning into, that's maybe also going to be very helpful. Cancer, thank you so much for being here. Just want to give a quick announcement. I will be back in 2026, the entire year, doing even more readings than I did in 2025. I do have more videos coming out in December, but I kind of wanted to give this early announcement. And make sure you do stay subscribed because I am doing my yearly reading here in December as well. It's my favorite reading of the year. So if you enjoyed this, thank you so much for being here. Hit subscribe, like, and I'll most certainly be talking to you again soon.